Okay, so today we're gonna do the Glow Up, which is basically our Glow Facial from the Platinum tier. And we are going to start with 2 pumps of the calendula, like we do for most of our facials. And we're going to warm it up in our hands and then do a very slow and controlled, about 1 to 2 minute massage. Again, this is just to take off the excess oil, dirt, debris, makeup, things like that, without drying out the skin. So we have a really clear vision of what's going on without, again, drying out the skin or anything like that from too aggressive of a cleanser for when we do the skin analysis. So to remove the first cleanser, which is the Calendula Apricot Cleanser, we're always going to use 4 4x4. So 2 and 2, we get these wet with warm water and keep these in the hot towel cavity. And then again, we're always going to do the same amount of pressure and the same pace on both sides of the face at the exact same time. This should take about 30 seconds to a minute to remove this cleanser completely. So the second step of this treatment is going to be the skin analysis. Like all skin analysis, we do them the exact same way every single time, no matter what the treatment is. You are going to pinch and you're going to pull at every part of their face. You are going to do their chin, both cheeks, nose, and forehead. You want to see how the skin is responding, how tight is their collagen, what's going on inside their pores, is there inflammation? This is where you have that deep conversation with your client to ask them what their concerns are, ask them what they're using product-wise, and this is where you make recommendations based on their concerns and based on what you see for products as well as for future services. You always want to make sure you do that in the skin analysis. You don't want to just say at the end of the facial, oh, by the way, you should try this product or book for this next appointment. You want to have an actual real conversation with your client to make sure you guys are on the same page. Your client might not want to rebook. They might not care about the things that you see. So you want to get on the same page with your client. What are they concerned with? What do you see? What is a good way to collaborate and create a treatment plan based off what the client needs or desires, what you see, based off their schedule, their lifestyle, their budget, all of that good stuff. And one last thing, when you're doing the skin analysis, always start with 1 to 2 positives before you go in with what you see. Never say, oh my gosh, your skin looks like this, or like that. Always start with something really, really positive. You've got great collagen, you've got great elasticity. I do see a little bit of clogged pores here. What are you currently doing for those clogged pores? Do they bother you? And so on. So for the second cleanse, we are going to use the Warming Honey Cleanser. I put it on just one. I'm gonna work it into both. And then we are going to do it on her face. You can do dermal balancing or vitamin A. I'm gonna do Warming Honey for her because I don't want anything that's too aggressive for the cleanser. I just want a really nice, good, deep clean that's not going to dry out her skin too much. So with this, you can kind of see that the steam is going. We wanna do this under steam for approximately 2 to 3 minutes. We have used the Faceify brushes with the second cleanse for approximately 2 to 3 minutes under steam. I'm going to put a hot towel on. We're going to turn the steam off. And then we're just going to press deeply into the skin and then remove this cleanser. Next, we are going to prep the skin with the glycolic toner. It wasn't coming out very well. That's why I did multiple pumps. It should usually be about 1 to 2 pumps on cotton rounds. This is gonna have a light tingle on the skin. It should not be a crazy burn by any means, but definitely a light tingle to the skin, and let the client know it should only last about 30 seconds. Okay, next we're going to put goggles on the client. We're gonna turn the light on, and then we're going to move it over the client after we already have our goggles on. So next I'm going to put the Dermaplane blade onto the Dermaplane handle. I always wait until right before I do it. I don't want to drop it and then I have to use a new one. What if something happens and we end up switching to doing a different treatment? So I always wait until right before we actually Dermaplane. Okay, it's been about 30 seconds to a minute after we did the glycolic toner, so the skin should be dry and feel slightly tight. I'm gonna just do a dry dermaplane, which is what we typically always do. The only time you would ever use an oil as like a base is if the skin is extremely sensitive, or kind of like that creepy old skin that just needs that like layer of protection. Kendra has, Kendra, sorry, it's okay. Our client here, whose name I apparently cannot pronounce because I haven't had enough coffee today. Her skin is pretty nice and taut, so we don't need to do anything extra to it. And again, we're always gonna start at the left side of the temple. We work our way all the way through, and then we do the right cheek, and then the left, and then we do the chin, and then above the lip. It is always the exact same pattern. Every time you do a dermaplane, every time you do a nano, every time you do microneedling, and every time you do a Hydrolux. We always want to make sure we're very, very consistent with our pattern to ensure we give the client the best treatment, but also to keep us on track so we always know where we're going and what we just did. The dermaplaning treatments portion of this facial should be anywhere from like 8 to 10 minutes, maybe up to 12 if you're really struggling, but 10 is kind of like the average, and it should always be right around that time frame. So next we just completed the dermaplaning treatments, and then I'm going to go in with these cotton rounds and some active toner. Usually it should be about 2 pumps, but again, it's running a little bit low, so do a little bit more. And then I just want to do a quick swipe once over. We just want to make sure that we're balancing the pH of the skin before we go in with the Hale & Hush Hydrate Mask and massage that into the skin. Okay, so now that we have done the active toner, we rebalance the pH, we are going to take the Hale & Hush Hydrate, about that much, and we're going to do the double brush method with this. We want to make sure that both brushes are pretty lathered up. You want to get as much on the brushes as possible. Start at the forehead. Again, anytime you're using 2 utensils at the same time, you want to make sure that you are using the same amount of pressure, the same pace, nice, slow, and controlled movements. We just want to get that skin super, super hydrated. It should be a light, thin blue. Do you want to bring it a little bit closer? You can see it's very, very thin. You don't need to cake it on. Excess does not make it better. It's just a waste of product. So we want to do just about that much, and then we're going to go in with our ice globes next. For the ice globes, we're going to take 2 4x4s that are wet. We want to wring them out so they're not like drenched, just moist. I know everybody hates that word. And then spread them out, and we are going to go right on top of the mask. We do not ever want to put ice globes directly on the mask, on the skin. It's really freaking cold. So this creates a nice little barrier. Always make sure that you wipe off the ice globes when you take them out of the freezer so they're not, don't have any of that frost, because it will stick to the 4x4s. Next, you're gonna do this for anywhere from about 5 to 8 minutes. Slow and controlled movements. You wanna spend about 1 to 2 minutes on each area of the face before you move to the next. Okay, so next we are going to do the nano portion. So I'm going to open this up. Again, I always wait to open up anything that needs to be opened until right before I use it. You never know if you drop it on the floor or if something's gonna happen. So, and then get that all in there. Perfect, I'm gonna set this aside. And then next what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my bowl and I'm going to take my amazing Epicutis Lipid Serum. We're going to do a couple of pumps. About 3 to 4 pumps in there, and that is it. That is all that we are doing. Now we are going to remove the 4x4s. There's still a little bit left on her skin, and that is okay. We are going to apply this right on top and nano everything in directly into the skin. Only do that if you're doing the Hale & Hush Hydrate Mask, because it can also be used as a moisturizer. So now I'm gonna go through and we are going to just do a nice thin layer for each section. And again, we're gonna start it the way we always do with everything. So I have it on, there's 3 settings. You can hear the difference. We always start on the lowest setting for the forehead. Again, start on the left side of the forehead. You're gonna go horizontal. You're gonna do small sections, about similar to what you would do with microneedling. Horizontal and then vertical. Once you're done with the vertical, then you're gonna do circles. And we're gonna do small sections at a time. in the exact same pattern as we did the dermaplane and everything else. So now that we've completed the nano portion of the facial, I went back through and used the rest of the lipid serum and just put it everywhere into the skin. So her skin is still nice and hydrated with it everywhere. And now we're gonna go in and we're just gonna do about a 3 to 5 minute massage and just massage all this goodness deep into her skin. Now that we have finished the massage portion, we are gonna go in with a hot towel, and we are not going to like rub everything off. Again, this is that hot towel that's just gonna kind of steam in what can go back into the skin, but it's also gonna absorb the excess off. So when we remove this towel, we're not gonna wipe off, we're just going to pull off. So her skin is still nice and dewy and hydrated, but we're not like, again, it's not sticky, we're not wiping, we're just absorbing. And so we're going to remove just like that. And then last but not least, we are going to do the avocado lip hydrator. For those of you watching this, I've been filming all day. It's a long day. So we've got our eye butter that we do for all of our treatments. Again, with the Q-tip, we're just gonna do little dots around the eye. Remember, we always go up into the eyelid because this is completely safe. It is based with shea butter and it has some jojoba oil in there. It's just very nice and hydrating for the tissue. Then we're gonna use the opposite side of the Q-tip for the avocado lip hydrator. Always use a Q-tip, don't ever use your fingers. Nobody wants your fingers all over their lips. It's weird. You can laugh at that, Kendra. It's okay. Kendra! Sorry. Now I laugh. Okay, and then we're gonna use our ring fingers to tap in the eye cream all around. Her skin feels really nice, slightly sticky. So if that happens, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take some 4x4s and we're gonna take some active toner and we're just gonna make sure toner is almost out. And we're just gonna kind of gently rehydrate the skin and rebalance the skin.